This is Arnold Kaiser with the Organization for International Cooperation. I'm recording this audio to speak about the breakthrough consulting and training services we are advocating to government and multilateral institution officials worldwide. Whatever the challenge may be, the one thing they all have in common is that those committed to resolving them do not recognize what is missing. They may know what the basic issues are. In some cases, they may even have solutions that sound promising. However, whether officials are not coming up with a valuable solution or they are not succeeding in implementing a workable solution, in both cases, the bottom line is that they are not identifying what is missing. These transformational services provide a dramatic expansion of conscious awareness. Thus, people become able to recognize critical turning point factors bypass, which will lead to formulating highly effective policies that can be successfully implemented. The results can be gained will be those that most in foreign affairs do not currently believe are possible. I want to share something now about some companies that use transformational consultants. In Arizona, there was a mining company in conflict with a labor union. There were acts of sabotage and violence involved. When the consulting work got underway, the violence and sabotage ended within 10 days. Later, the union signed a 15-year contract with the mining company and several others. In another mining engagement in South Africa, a large platinum mining company was managed by white executives. They had a black labor force of 25,000 workers. There were numerous accidents in the mine, profits were down, production was suffering, and various unions were in constant conflict with management. In the townships where the workers lived, there were 300,000 people. The area was plagued by poverty, crimes, aid, and the entire area was dependent on the mine. There were also problems involving local government. Having worked with the management and soon after, together with the unions, the results were these. The two sides got on the same page, became close, and solved numerous problems. The profits went up, the accidents went down, the crime, poverty, AIDS, and dependence on the mine diminished significantly, along with the local government problems. It was a huge win-win scenario that was highly praised by people like Nobel laureate Archbishop Desmond Tutu. My experiences have taught me that one way or another, if you have the awareness and commitment required, you can bring about cooperation from others, even those perceived to strongly resist it for one reason or another. An old friend of mine, John Domenico Pico, was a UN official who negotiated the release of the Beirut hostages and the treaty to end the Iran-Iraq war. He was successful in negotiating the hostage release face-to-face with terrorists threatening his life. He was exceptional in getting on the same channel with those holding the hostages. Even when they were threatening to kill him, he knew how to cut through the threats and relate with them in such a way that got them and others involved to cooperate. His amazing story is in his book called Man Without a Gun. While Johnny was and still is an exceptional negotiator, most people committed can do the same, if they, too, are functioning with the same level of commitment and conscious awareness which transformational consulting and training provides. No matter how difficult or how long-standing the threat, impasse, or humanitarian challenge may be, there are breakthrough solutions available that in many cases can make the use of pressure, political isolation, sanctions, armed force, or other forms of coercion unnecessary. I invite the listener to hear the discussion that I had with consultant Becky Robbins, which we recorded in 2 parts on our website. I strongly recommend that the listener watch the NASA video also on our website. It has consultant Becky Robbins giving a 1-hour presentation for a group of NASA supervisors. This was also presented at the U.S. Department of State. The best way to get the clarity needed to make an accurate assessment of these innovative services is to speak with a consulting expert. The bottom line is if an official cannot accurately identify what is missing in their challenge, it will persist indefinitely, like the North Korean six-party talks, the troubles between the West and Iran, and all other unresolved global threats and human suffering. Thank you for listening.